Hotel brothers and sisters, Black Power. As today, special day, celebrating the transition of the great queen, Aretha Franklin, as she makes her way, as we speak, in her journey to the realm of the ancestors, to make her connection among the greatest of the greats that ever existed on the planet. By far, she was the greatest voice, singing voice, female voice on the planet, hands down. And a lot of times, we got to understand, sometimes we get a little upset, we shed tears for the people based on the fact that we may not ever see them again in that particular physical form, and that we may miss some of the great things and contributions that they have made while they were here. However, it's a celebration that they have moved on in the ancestral realm to create more power and more strength in the ancestral realm to help those of us who are still here struggling, trying to become liberated and seeking salvation in our own personal journeys. So we honor and we celebrate the life of this queen. You know, I'd done a video prior to her passing because I knew that this day was going to come. You know, and I didn't want to be a copycat. I wanted to use my own individuality in my own mind without having scripts or writing anything down or have someone writing anything down or reading Wikipedia or anything of that nature. Just based on my own personal knowledge and experience with the great queen, Aretha Franklin. Also, it's also another special day. Today is my sister's birthday, her 61st birthday, and as we celebrate her day, we give honor and we give thanks to have known those people and have been connected with those people, and think about the great things that they've done, the laughter, the hurt, and the pain that we've shared. And so as my sister continues to stand among the greats in the ancestral realm, you know, I just want to let her know on behalf of the queen and myself, the street law soldiers and the family, Hotep, Ashe, and I love you. What I want to talk about now is the recent news pertaining, not news, but recent information that's been released about these motherfucking faggot ass pedophile Catholic priests who have within the last 20 years have molested and raped over 1,000 babies, over 1,000 little boys. And see, this is, you know, this is part of the system of racism, white supremacy, and white privilege. Even in the religion, even in the religions, they are allowed to commit these acts of pedophilia with no consequences. And see, I already have come to the conclusion of how this thing goes. You know, what they do is molest and rape these little boys until they become pre-adults from the ages of 8 and 9 And by the time they're 19 or 20, when they blow the whistle, when they finally stand up, it's too late. The statute of limitations has ran out. And this is why these bastards get away with this. You know, raping these little boys. Sodomizing these little boys. So, you bougie Negroes who sit back and brag about you are Catholic and your children go to Catholic school and private school, you better watch out. You better watch out, because your child is at the top of the food chain to be raped. So don't get it twisted. And they rape these boys, spank them, rape them, sodomize them, abuse them, and then threaten their lives, threaten their families' lives if they ever decide that they want to blow the whistle. So it's time for people to wake up. It's time for us to step forward and start banging on these motherfucking faggot ass priests. And this shit hasn't just started. It's been going on from the time that these priests commissioned slavery by way of the Pope. And when our ancestors were getting on those boats, those little boys were getting on those boats in which they were separated. They had a certain part of the boat in which the little children was locked down in a particular part of the ships. That way they could be sodomized and raped without any interference. And so this stuff goes on and on. And when they come down, that the altar boy is just someone who is symbolically holding the cardinal or the bishop's or the pope's penis. That's what the candle, the lit candle, is symbolic of when the little boy is walking in the middle of the aisle down between the pews of the cathedral. This is some nasty, freakish, sickening shit that these motherfucking crackers get away with. And you have a few black nigger priests and bishops that are involved in that as well. You know, this is the thing, you know, Father such and such. You know, when these little children commit anything, any type of wrong act, the parents make them go to confession. And then when they go to confession, this is when these motherfucking pedophile priests reveal and go in deep into the psyche of these children. And then that's the process of them being sodomized and raped and abused. This boy hit Jordan McNair last year. Merlin Turpin's training camp, football training camp, where the iron whip, the lash of the whip in terms of a coach is laid down primarily on the black players. Now this brother was only 19 years old. He was a starting lineman for the University of Maryland. But in the blistering heat, they were made to overexert themselves, in which caused this 19-year-old boy to have a heat stroke. Now, to have a heat stroke at the age of 19, that's some blistering heat. And nothing is done about it. Nothing is done about it. And this happened last year at the training camps. And they've had several black players who have passed from heat stroke. And this is the punishment that our young men have to endure trying to make the team, where they literally collapse and their heart gives out on them and they collapse and they die on the football field, trying to make a career, trying to make it to the NFL, to be able to provide and support their family and try to live a decent, promising life, and as well as have a promising career. And this is the pain and suffering that they have to endure behind these slave masters. These are the ones that lash the whip and overexert our teens and our young men unnecessarily, because you already know, a coach already knows when they have NFL prospects, and they don't have to make them do the incredible, because you don't see many white boys falling down like you see black men falling down. You know, and this is this stuff has to go. This is about the cooning and you know, these our sisters just cooning themselves. This is what's her name? Underwood. I think it's Michelle Underwood or something like that. You know, supposed to be a radio personality and a comedian. You know, but this is her calling herself being dressed up and being serious. And this is the self-hatred. This is how embedded the self-hatred runs in the black community. But I'm going to do a part 2 to this shortly. So stay tuned for the part 2 of the cooning and the buffoonery within our community, as well as the so-called imposter Jews. Why people, black people in particular, are afraid to mention anything negative about the so-called Jew. So stay tuned. Hotep Black Power.